agenda to the Oconto County Reporter and all other news media who have requested the same, as well as by posting. Copies of the complete agenda were available for inspection at the city, at the office of the city administrator. Roll call.
Daryl Anderson is excused. Kim Branikowski.
Here.
Ron Dahl.
Here.
Dee Donlevy.
Happy to be here.
Bob LeBrec.
Here.
Mayor Cliff Martin.
Here.
Casey Sowle.
Here.
Lori Stenstrup.
Here.
Dan Zeller.
Here. 3, approval of the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Ron, second. Anybody?
Second.
Cliff? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 4, approval of the minutes from 12/9/2025. Anybody find anything, corrections?
I'll make that motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 5, public input.
Hello, hello.
Number 6, correspondence. Do we have any correspondence? No. We'll go to number 7, discussion, recommendation on old unfinished business. 8, questions from November 2025 accounts payable.
There was a question on the AT&T mobility bill. It looked, there was a question, I guess, why the police was paying more than the fire. It looked like they were behind a month, so they paid 2 months at one time. The police pays $232.68 a month, and the fire pays $431 a month regularly. The police has 7 phones at $33.24 a phone, and then the fire has 3 phones, 2 iPads, 2 laptops, 3 MiFis, which I think is Wi-Fi for their vehicles.
Yep.
And then 2 additional phones. So that's the only question I had.
B, parcel number 265-3119-1251778. This is land donated by Ron and Kathy Hayes. The Hayes request for the city to pay the 2025 tax bill in total of the amount of $588.96. Questions, comments? D?
Comments. I'll be devil's advocate here. I don't think that is in the best interest of council to spend that money. That's money that could go towards one of our desktops that we need, money that could be used for other things within the city. They were in ownership of that property all year, correct, last year?
Yep.
So they had the benefits or whatever of that, and I just think it really, I don't know why that would be a benefit for the city to pay that.
Any other? Bob, did you ever?
I was just wondering, how it's donated property, if we're paying $588, aren't we buying it? I don't care if it's $588 or $1.
Yep.
I consider that we're buying it, it's not donated. So,
What's the advantage of us having it?
I guess Jeremy can speak on that.
We haven't had
I
that.
guess the only, I mean, for me, I've done a couple of advantages. I've always used that parcel for snow storage, the backside off of Water Street. You know, that was always just an agreement worked out with the Hazes where we kind of just took care of the sidewalk when we did the neighboring sidewalk, which the property we owned behind Family Dollar, in return to letting us plow into that property and put snow in there when we were moving the downtown area. I guess as a benefit for the city, obviously when I'm currently working on the redesign of Water Street right now, to have that property maybe as a, you know, whether you wanna put a parking lot in there, a small event center for like, markets, for farmers markets or things like that, you know, I think that's beneficial, for that, but, you know, that's up to you guys if you think that warrants, paying that $588 or obviously denying it and seeing what the Hazes do if you deny it. You know, you could deny it and they could say, well, okay, we'll pay it, you can still have it. I'm not sure if that's gonna happen, but I can't tell you that, but I think there's some value there, but whether or not, if you guys feel that's right to pay the $588. I would agree that, I mean, obviously they said they were gonna donate it to us, and then come in and say part of it was, I think it would have been a different conversation if they would have came in, hey, we'd like to donate this property, but in return they'd like you guys to pick up the, you know, the $580 in taxes that are due, and that was obviously never set up front, so. Again, that's my take on it, that's how I look at it.
Don't we have ownership of the property already? Wasn't it signed over to us?
It's recorded.
So,
It's recorded.
okay, so they're technically not gonna come in and say, well, I want the property back now. They wanna get rid of it. They're tired of maintaining it. So,
Yeah, I kinda think it was an afterthought, like, once they saw maybe they forgot about the tax bill possibly, or, I mean, I think they already donated it. I mean, I'm not sure that we should be paying the tax bill on it.
Anybody else?
Did they just quick deed it over? Was there any research on it that the taxes was?
I did touch base with R.L. Hall at looking at it.
Yeah.
So it's free and clear as far as that goes, but, I mean, obviously the bill for 2025 taxes comes out in December each year, and, it's one of the takes, I guess I would, if we were buying the property and going through a title company and having a closing and doing all of that, I mean, at the very least, it would have been prorated, which
Right.
we took it like November 1st, so I mean, it would have been 2/12 to us and 10/12 to them in a proration. But yeah, they had majority year, and put it that way.
That was gonna be my question, when was it recorded in the deed, because I don't feel like.
Basically
they should have to pay
November
the full
1st.
year. If it's November 1st, that's 2 months that they shouldn't be paying for, then that we were ownership of that.
We give them $100.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree with
so if the
that.
math comes out to $100 would be the 2 months that we owned it.
Anybody wanna make a motion or more discussion?
What exactly does the water sweeping look like?
We all should have caught that.
Is it true?
Well, we didn't go through a closing though on this. I just checked with Hall, we checked title or whatever, but we didn't do a full closing. I just did a quick claim deed, they signed it, we recorded it. So we didn't do, and there's no water bill or utilities or anything like
There's
that.
public fire protection, which we didn't prorate.
Yeah. But we already own it, yes?
Yes.
This is kind of the outstanding
I
issue.
mean, I would make a
that
motion to
arose.
pay them $100 for the 2 months that we owned it and they did not, and pay our portion of it. I don't think that's unfair, but I don't think we should pay the whole thing.
Are you making that motion?
I'm making that motion.
Do we have a second on the motion?
I'll second it.
Lisa made a motion, and Cliff seconded. Can I roll call on?
Sure. Kim Barnakowski,
Yes.
Ron Dahl,
Yes.
Dee Donlevy,
yes,
Bob LaBrock,
No.
Cliff Martin,
Yes.
Casey Sowle,
Yes.
Lori Stenstra,
No.
Dan Zeller.
Yes. So that passes.
So my question is, are we sending them out a new tax bill for 488.96?
No, tax bills aren't prorated when they're sent out. That proration is done by the title companies or the owners who are selling it. The tax bill's always gonna be what the tax bill is. It's sent out in full.
So we have to send them a check back.
They haven't paid anything, so we can pay our portion and then they can pay their portion.
This will go on for council, we'll have to go through council next week.
Yeah,
but-
yeah.
comments on it?
What was the vote on that?
6-2.
Okay, we'll go to number 8, discussion recommendations on new business. A, review accounts payable for the month of December 2025 in the amount of $490,398.62. Payroll for the month of December 2025 in the amount of $182,807.32. In other financial reports as presented. Anybody have questions on the handout? Bob?
I got one, it's on page 16 on the first half, it's towards the bottom, and it's from CoreLogic, centralized refunds overpayment. Property tax overpayment of $2,634.33. What is CoreLogic centralized?
CoreLogic is a company that works with mortgage companies to pay real estate taxes. When they have overpayments on property taxes, we have to send the refund back to them, first back to the property owner, because they put it back in their escrow or whatever they do with it, but they're just a company that works for mortgage companies to help pay real estate taxes.
Okay, just wondering, because I'm like, what the hell is that?
A lot of times, I can tell you this one, it's so big because, sometimes they're not really reliable in getting, if the property owner wants to pay it in December, cause they wanna claim it on their taxes, the property owner sometimes gets nervous and won't get there in time, so they'll pay it, and then they'll let CoreLogic pay it, so that they can be paid in time, so that's probably what happened here.
Cause I see most of the time, most people get refunds because they're paying it from their tax escrow account.
Yeah.
I can understand that, but I've never seen this for such
Yeah. It's the same thing.
Anything else?
Is this, looking through the register, it looks like this is for the month of December 12/1 through 12/31. I guess I have a question, it looks like there were multiple entries for employee 125, one on page 7, one on page 16 for $596.90. So is that like a back pay or something, that one month was missed, that there's 2 of them on there?
No, that's what comes out of employees' paychecks, it's paid every payroll,
Oh, okay.
that's why there's multiple ones.
And I did see 2 entries on there for Joe for reimbursement on his phone too.
Yeah, we
One,
reimbursed Joe monthly on his phone bill.
okay. But it gets turned in like once a month or twice a month? Okay.
Once a month.
Okay.
No, on the second part on page 5, it's, up at the top, it's contractual services for both city docks and a whole, toilet removal. We get charged for them to come and pick up their toilets at the end of the year that we rent?
Apparently, they do.
Is
They've
this-
always,
Is this a first?
well, it's a first because they typically would keep them out there for the all year. And, I just thought that was kind of ridiculous to have porta potties out at our docks that are not being used, and we got perfectly good, bathrooms out at the breakwaters, so I had those removed, which ultimately I removed the one at, Breakwater Park, and I removed the ones at City Dock, and then I removed a few of them, cause otherwise it was gonna cost us about $2,500 throughout the winter to keep those. Which they always kept them, I'm not sure why, I think it was more of a convenience, but for a convenience to someone just to drive up to your porta potty to go to the bathroom, when the park's really technically closed, it makes sense to me, so obviously I had to take them out until we need them back, so.
Well, it just seemed kind
Yeah,
of weird.
so there's a cost savings, it's just that obviously they're gonna charge you to take
I
them out
mean,
too.
we're renting them and yet they're charging us to pick them up, and then one is $82.50 and one is $150. Okay, what's the difference? There's the same toilets, aren't they? There's
There
one-
was probably.
Well, they don't, depending on, you've got one that's a handicap, porta potty, so which, it's a lot larger.
Yes, but the one that's handicapped is at City Docks, there is. No,
But they get paid under the same,
what do they?
they get paid under the
It's just,
same hardware.
it just struck me as funny that we're renting them and now they're charging us. to pick them up.
Nothing's free.
Well, come on. Why would you-
It probably charges to put them back too.
Yeah.
Do you want us to take the waste out of them for them too? I mean, come on, you gotta give us something here.
The only ones we keep now through the winter, obviously we keep one out at City Park for the ice fishermen out there, that opening. And then we've got one, that was kept out by the Holtwood office, obviously for Winter Wonderland, and people that are working out there, and we're gonna be working out there and redoing the campground office here, obviously, actually starting this week, but those are the only two that are kept now throughout the winter, rather than multiple ones that were kept out there in the past.
I think I answered my own question. It was on page 1, the second item. It said AA alkaline battery, and then I just figured out it said programmable thermostat, so I thought it was AA battery. I was like, holy cow. What do we spend $109 on? But if it was for a thermostat, I can see the price on it.
I thought the same thing myself.
I'm like, how many AA batteries did we order?
Anybody else? Anything? Get a motion to accept it.
I'll make that motion to accept it.
Motion from Kim,
A second?
second from Dee, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? B, revenue and expenditures guidelines from 2025.
There is one error that I noticed on there, in the general fund on page 2, and you'll also see it in the utility, but there's a transfer from other funds of $500,000. That is not, it did happen when we switched bank accounts to we're still at Stevenson, but they put it into an FDIC more protected bank account. There was an error with a transfer, so I did the transfer so the bank rec would balance, but it's put back now. So that money, I must have run it after I printed this report, but I checked and it is put back, so that $500,000 is not in the general fund, it's in the utility still. It was just an error that is corrected now. So our revenue is at 106% of the budgeted revenue. These are not the final numbers. There are some adjustments that still need to be done. Year-end adjustments that we always do, things the auditors will change around, things like that. Department heads can also still use their 2025 budget with this week's accounts payable, so these numbers still will change a little bit, but for the most part, our revenues are up and our expenses are at 98%. That number is gonna be close to 100%, I would guess, by the end of, this week's accounts payable. But we're about 301,000 over budget, so that's, sorry, under budget, so that money goes into the fund balance. The rest of the funds, everything is looking good, there isn't anything I saw that's alarming. If anyone has any questions on those, we can go over it, but all of these funds, the money they have remaining is just gonna go into their fund balance. Recycling's at about 29,000 right now. That is gonna change a little bit because they do have some fuel that they're gonna be paying for, but that goes into the fund balance, and we know they're in a deficit, so that helps take it out of the deficit. Campground, you can see, is at a negative, but that was planned. They voted to do the blacktopping, so we knew that it was gonna be taking some money out of the fund balance for that project. Breakwater and Harbor, about 28,000, going into the fund balance. They do have some projects coming up in 2026, so they'll use that money for that. TIP 4, a little over 145,000, under budget, or surplus, I should say. That, again, TIP 4 was in a deficit, so that money goes to pay back the general fund. TIP 5, $53,000 surplus, that goes into the TIP 5 fund balance to use for the developers agreements. K-9 fund is in a surplus, and they were in a deficit in the last couple years, so they are now in the positive, which we love to see. Debt service was in a deficit, but that's how we planned the budget, so we knew that was coming. Capital projects also is in a deficit. I have to look at this a little clearer, cause sometimes there are grants that are coming in that don't go into the revenue, they're in a liability account. So there are some things that might change in there. And our fleet is also in a deficit of 29,000. Part of the reason was when Brad was setting that up, we didn't expect to get the vehicles in so quick. We got it in, a few months sooner than expected. So that did put us over budget a little bit in that fund. And then utility, it does look like they're also in a deficit. That's just money that needs to be transferred from the bonding. A lot of that is for the projects. When you get the bond money in, it's not in the 2025 budget, so it looks, once the transfers are done, they'll be right on track, but it's just gonna look a little crazy right now. Any questions on any of that?
Yeah.
I do have a question. On page 1, I'm looking for clarification. Looks like we have broken out for the building permits by town now, we're kind of tracking that. So my question is, do we need to keep that as well as on page 2, or what's building inspection services, isn't that the same thing?
No. Building permits is the physical permits that they're getting, that Joe is issuing to the different municipalities. The services are what the municipalities are paying for Joe's service. So the city of Peshtigo pays us 40,000? What did we pay us?
10,000.
No,
No.
no, it's more than that. It was 10,000 last year.
Right, this year's like 25, isn't it?
I honestly can't even. In 2025, they paid us 10,000. City of Howell pays us 5,000. So that's what they pay us up front for the service.
I took a look at Joe's reports, thank him for putting that together, it was helpful to have all the itemized information. He is stating that he did a 309 permits at the tune of $19,562.86. And you're showing $20,116.92, so yours is more than what his is showing for the permits, a difference of like $553 and change. So there's a discrepancy there somewhere.
It could be that they're not putting the right account. We did run into this earlier in the year. If Joe is not communicating or the girls aren't seeing on the permit which municipality it's for, they're putting it in the wrong municipality. In 2026, we are fixing that by changing the way he's numbering the permits. He's gonna put an H, a P, and an O on them, so we know exactly where they're supposed to go. So my guess would be either it's just a lag in something that's receipted, it's not receipted in here yet, or it's put in the wrong one. Which when we do the internal audit, which we're still working on, that will get corrected. But my guess would be that's what it's gonna be. And in the future, we found a way to correct it so that won't happen anymore.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else from anyone? Motion on that, do we?
No.
Okay, we'll go to number 9 then, next meeting agenda items. Anybody have anything they want brought up for the next?
Do we think we wanna keep these meetings to an hour, or do we wanna shorten them? Because the last couple times we're finishing very early.
I think an half an hour probably should cover it, unless we've got an extremely busy month with the
You can always
payables.
go over.
Yeah, we can always go over if need be.
Start at 5:30.
5:45.
Why, it gives me an extra 15 minutes on that.
So changing the time then to 5:30?
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's ever anything on the agenda that's, might take more, we can bump it back.
Number 10, adjournment. We have a motion. Tom makes the motion, Ron seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Good luck.
Did you repeat the
You're from Joe Bauer.
Yeah.